Hey, everybody. This is a call hosted by Dreaming of Diamond, but for everyone. So we hope that this video will get into the hands of all the people. And we are so excited about this. So we have a special guest. My sponsor, the person who invited me to learn about Plexus, Jana Brady, is here with us. And so what we're going to be talking about tonight is, and I'm letting people in as we go. But what we're going to be talking about tonight is we know and we train a ton on those social media methods, right? We spin those plates, we're in our stories, we're on our wall. But the truth is that there are other ways to build. And I cannot wait to just showcase the queen of this. Um, she's going to talk to you about this because the truth of the matter is, I don't know if she's going to talk about this part, but um, she found me in an unconventional method, and she's really, really good. And honestly, we actually talked about this yesterday. She found her strongest builders, right, in
Yes.
unconventional ways. And so I think that here's a perfect example of someone who just thinks outside the box. So I'm gonna put it on speaker view. Please welcome my Plexus mama, okay, to the stage, and we cannot wait to hear from you. So I am gonna put it on speaker view.
All right. Hey, thank you, Sadie, so much for inviting me. It is such an honor to be on this DoD call. Um, so so this isn't really about getting off social media. This is more about how to enhance that experience. And like Sadie said at the very beginning, when I joined pretty much for the business. Yes, I was a postpartum mama. I needed to lose 35 pounds, all the things, but I was in a very unique situation in a group of other moms we were all having a baby around the same time. But the unique thing about this particular group on Facebook is that we had developed strong relationships. We trusted each other. We shared intimate things with each other. We friended each other outside of the group. And so the majority of the people in that group, when I started sharing about Plexus, very authentically, I was just kind of like diarying it out, my my progress and what was going on. And so they saw it. And I had developed enough of a relationship with them that they trusted me to share the products with them. And that's how our team began. And Sadie was one of the first. Kim McLennan was another one who was my other strongest leg. And it just blossomed from that. And really, that's kind of how my business grew. And here's the thing, I never really have had a lot of influence on social media. But what I have done is I've leaned into groups. I am a natural, like, I lean so with groups on Facebook, I feel like it is an unsung hero because you can really lean into those spaces with people that you have something in common with. So we all have like our unique and special gifts that we can provide to other people, are things that we're passionate about, things that we lean into naturally. And when you join groups, um, whether it be like with Sadie and I, with our kids, for me, it's, gosh, I'm in a kombucha group. I'm in a sourdough group. I'm in groups that interest me, but I'm also interacting with people with similar interests. So that's kind of where I'm going to start off. With our social media, and when we've just joined, we have this already developed warm market, right? And that's usually how we get to gold, is with our warm market of relationships that we've already established, relationships that we already have. We kind of think back to like the Franks list. I don't know if anybody remembers that or if anybody still uses it, but it's friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids, their parents, and spouse, and their connections. And those are things that we've already developed, and those people tend to trust us, right? And that's kind of how we build our business, and we kind of teach our new builders to do the same. But eventually, we're going to need to grow outside of that if we want to continue growing ourselves. And I know for me, this is my 11th year in Plexus. I am still getting some here and there from my original warm market, but I really had to be intentional about creating new connections, new, you know, good connections, connections where I have built it enough to where they do trust me. And we have to remember that at the very core of this business, it's about relationships. And the sooner that we can start thinking about how am I going to grow my reach beyond where I'm at right now, how can I grow that reach beyond that, you're kind of getting ahead of the game. And I wish I had kind of done that from the beginning. So there's kind of two different buckets that you can build those meaningful relationships in. There is social media, and like we were talking about with groups. And then there's also face-to-face, and we'll kind of talk about both of those. So let's talk about social media first. We talked about the groups. There are a bazillion groups on Facebook. What I have found is the more specific the group is, and the more people are all rowing in the same direction about something they're passionate about, whether it be like working out, or, I'm in like some 50 plus groups because I'm about to be 50. Those are wonderful. The smaller the group, though, the better, because that gives you more of an opportunity to make those connections. But whichever type of group that you're in, make sure that you're really intentionally in there to be curious about people, to listen to people, to make those connections. Try to get those connections off into Messenger if you can. And yeah, that's kind of awkward, but if you're being intentional in those groups and you're getting to know people, then you can take those relationships into Messenger and start building that relationship. And I'm not talking about just to get them to buy the products. We're not even talking about Plexus at this point. We're just talking, right? We're just building community and relationship. But one of the best ways to be in a group that's impactful is if you can do it locally. If you can find local groups that, there's neighborhood groups, local moms groups, local fitness groups, that sort of thing. If you can get into a local group, then you have a much better opportunity to make those connections in real life. So what you're doing socially in social media space and building those new connections, is that you're wanting to filter them into being a Facebook friend. So then they're seeing who you are. They're seeing what special, unique things that you can offer them, because we're not just sharing about Plexus, we're sharing about like who we are and what makes us tick, and what's that unique quality that can add value to people. We want to be adding value. And so they can see that then, and then they become naturally curious about what you're doing with Plexus. It's really cool, and it does work that way. But I found really those local groups are really great. And if you're not in a local group, you can create them. Dan created a neighborhood networking group of business owners where it's very active. And so these are local people that we're making connections with and building relationships with. Okay, so that's kind of where I would go with the social media. But my favorite thing, and what I really wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, is the face-to-face connections. And I'm an introvert. It's definitely not my wheelhouse, but I found that it's so impactful to make those face-to-face connections in your community. And some of the ways that I've done that is through the kids' school, because we're in that elementary phase. And so, we're volunteering at the kids' school. We're stepping up and getting on the PTO board. I signed up as the vice president of the PTO for next year. But that adds influence, right? That adds an influence in my community of building that trust with the people that I'm surrounded in my community with. If you're into fitness and working out, join those F45 or Burn Boot Camp or whatever. Build that community of other women that have that passion along with you. But the thing is as we're building those relationships in person, we are filtering them into our Facebook. We are friending them on Facebook. You have to. Let me show you guys real quick. It is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but probably not. Okay, so anyway, this is a virtual, right here is a virtual QR business card. Okay, and so what I can do when I'm meeting people and when I'm talking to them, I am finding a way to get them as a friend on Facebook. And now I have a QR code, and when they take a picture of the QR code, it not only opens up my link to my Facebook, my Instagram, my website, everything. Like it's everything that's Jana in a QR code that I can get them, connected to. I can get them connected to me immediately. Okay. So I'm doing that. But one of the other things, and Dan actually did this first about 6 or 7 months ago, we were brainstorming how, as a man, can he build his own Plexus business when it's really hard for him personally on social media? Okay. And so he decided to join a networking group. And I don't know, is anybody in here, or is anybody part of like a networking group like Master Networks or anything like that? Have y'all heard of it? Okay. So it's amazing. So these networking groups, and they're all over the country. I actually looked up, or Dan looked up before we got on. There's like 8 or 9 just in Sadie's area, just in the St. Louis area. So they're nationwide. And these groups you are a part of with other business owners. But the thing that I found is that the health and wellness landscape is completely open, at least in my area. And I am in a very saturated area in McKinney. Celeste, this is her stomping grounds. There's a bazillion Jills here. I've not met another Plexus ambassador in any of the meetings that I've gone to. But what makes these meetings so neat is that every single one that you go to, you have a 30-second to a minute opportunity to share your business with others. And then you also have more opportunity to do more. Like you can do a showcase where you're literally doing like a sip and see or a presentation in front of 40, 50 people. You are getting your product and your business out there on a weekly basis. And these groups are referral-based groups. And so these people are open and willing and wanting to know what you're doing. They're wanting to support your business. And they're wanting to refer your business to their friends. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of stats with this. Last month, Dan and I got 8 new orders from just one meetingscape that we were in. And this month, because of all the work last month that we were doing and talking to people, we have a funnel of about 25 people that are ready to order our products and are ready to represent that and share with their friends. It is an untapped opportunity, I feel like, for us to get ourselves out there. I know that we talk a lot about sip and sees and different ways to get our products out there, vendor shows, that sort of thing, which are all great. But we are talking about getting in front of people that you're building relationships with. You're having one-on-one conversations with them after the meeting and sharing your business with them, and they're sharing their business with you. And it's also a wonderful, wonderful way to get outside of your comfort zone, to get up in front of people, to talk and learn about how to talk about your business better, talk about your products better. Overall, it's just been an incredible experience for us. And I feel like it's just a way for people to get out in the community and get to know people and really expand their reach as far as referrals. Let me see if there's anything that I've missed, because I know I kind of went heavy on that because I get so excited about it because it's just been such a wonderful thing. Yeah, and really, and also with, making those connections in those meetings, I'm bringing them back to Facebook. I'm bringing every connection that I make in the outside of social media. I'm bringing them back to social media so that they can get to know me better and get to know my products better. And that's where that's where they learn about it. But really making those in-person connections helps elevate that trust level, because when it comes down to it, people buy from who they know, like, and trust. And people, what is that saying from Roosevelt? People don't want to know what you know until they know that you care. It's just what I've found is the more that relationship has been cultivated, the more people are going to stick around, and they're going to want to make it work, and they're going to listen to you when you're um, troubleshooting with them. They're not just going to drop the product like a hot potato the first time they have a detox symptom, right? Um, and just a real quick story, as far as, the difference with those relational connections, I'm in a huge group um, for people that are over 50 that are into fitness. And a few months ago, there's a ton of posts about menopause, like it's a thing for women over 50 and struggling with their weight loss. And I made a pretty simple comment just about how, gut health has been something that gut health supplements have been something that I've used that have helped, me manage my perimenopause. And no joke, I had probably 150 people ask for more information. And I was busy for 3 days straight reaching out to all of these people. And I did. I probably got 4 or 5 solid orders from that, and they're still ordering. But what I found was that it was so much harder to try to build that rapport and that relationship with complete strangers. It's possible and it's doable, and that's something that's part of our business that we need to do, but it's harder when you're not making those relational connections. So that's pretty much all I have, Sadie. I just wanted to kind of talk about those in-person, face-to-face, and how that's been really in- integral in my business now as I've gotten outside of Facebook and needed to build my network. But those networking meetings are absolutely amazing and incredible. And I mean, if anybody wants more information on those or how to get plugged in, I'm happy to talk to you guys. Just message me.
Well, this has been awesome. And you've kind of told me behind the scenes how it's going. So I knew that this could be information that would be just different.
It's
We
another tool.
Yes, and we have got you guys, we have got to stay in a space where we're always evolving and willing to challenge ourselves. Okay, so, the truth is, and you guys heard her, she said that she's meeting people, but she's driving them in to
Always driving back. Yeah.
yes, into the what we're all doing the social media thing. It is a necessary evil. That's who we are. That's what's happening. You've already put in a freaking ton of work for that. We have a ton of resources on there. So just hear what she's saying about, this opportunity to think outside the box, connect, lean into things that you care about. And I love this. So
Yeah, just always be looking for a way to make more connections, because, we're in this business for the long haul.
right.
And so we're always going to need to be bringing new people in to our sphere,
Well,
of making those relationships.
yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
I'm gonna stop recording really quick. Hang on one second, maybe.